Hello everybody, welcome back to another deck profile. Today we have the Phantom Knights. This is still an incomplete deck. We're still waiting on some of the cards, some from the extra deck, some from the main deck. However, it is still a good deck that you can do stuff with. Start off, we have our 3 Phantom Knights with Torn Scales. An amazing card. You want to see this in your opening hand as much as possible. Then we have 3 Silent Boots. That is just amazing, an amazing card to have on the field and in the graveyard. You just special summon it and go off with the Torn Scales, go to your Cherubini, banish Edgershane Brigadine or your sword or whatever you want to do. It's a very good card to have. Then we're running 3 Cloak. Most people would run it at 2, but 3 is nice for now in the current build that we're playing. Purely because we don't have all the cards yet, so we'll probably put this at 2 once we get the rest of the cards, but we'll see what happens when the time comes and we play the 1 Greaves and the 1 Gloves, obviously. That is just standard Phantom Knights deck. That's the Phantom Knights engine. Then for the Burning Abyss engine, we play 3 Graf, 1 Seer, 1 Fafra, 1 Skam, 2 Kamagucha Knight. What we're probably going to do is take out 1 Graf and put another Kamagucha Knight in, and when we have the, what's it called, the tour guides, we'll take out these, put 3 tour guides in, and have just these 3 Kamagucha Knights. But for now, we have 3 Graf, 1 Seer, 1 Fafra, and 1 Skam, and then 2 Kamagucha Knight. For the hand traps, we play 3 Effect Veiler, 1 Ghost Ogre, and 1 Raiden. Probably going to be adding, changing up the hand traps a tad bit as time goes on, I think. Yes, we also have the 2 Imperm. Very odd amount of hand traps, however, we can fix this at a later date. Going into the spell cards, we have 1 Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Launch, 1 Reinforcements to the Army, 1 Rotoria Burning Alive, Upstart Goblins, Harpies Feather Dust, and Foolish Burial. Now, these are just the main one-offs of the deck. These are the only spell cards you would need. Really wish Reinforcements it was more than 1. It would be an amazing card to have at 3, but it's pretty broken for this deck, so we run the 1 Warrior Returning Alive. Most of these cards, for example, Warrior Returning Alive and Phantom Knight Rank Up Magic Launch is just a target for Torn Scales. But other than that, they're nice to have. Then we have 1 Fog Blade. We are going to grab 2 more of these, and we'll take, as replacements for the Fog Blade, we have 1 Sword and 1 Wrong Metroing. Basically, when we get the next 2 Fog Blades, we'll be staking out these ones for the Fog Blades, but we just leave these in here for now as replacements. Then we have 1 Wing, 1 Shade Brigadine, and 3 Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is nice to have as this deck can go first and second, but it's better for this deck to go first so you can try and set your traps like that. That is it for the main deck. Into the extra deck. We have 2 Rusty Bardiche. Unfortunately, this card is at 1, so we're currently looking for something to replace this. Probably replace it for like IP Masquerena, something like that. Then we have the 1 Cherubini, obviously one of the best cards in the deck. You want to be special summoning this as much as, well, not as much as possible. You want to summon this first, as it is one of the most important cards to start your combos. Then we have Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn. These 2 are just very good cards to just use materials. Then we have the 1 Boarsword Dragon. Boarsword Dragon is a very good card, but realistically what we're going to do is we're going to take out the Bardiche and run probably Appaloosa, and then Boarsword and Appaloosa is a very good 2 cards to have in the extra deck because they're just overpowered as hell. I have the 1 Link Spider just for the Brigadine, just if you're not going to use it to Xyz summon. That's it for the Link monsters. Into the Xyz monsters, we have 1 Break Sword. We need to be running 2 Break Sword, so we're running 2 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, 1 to replace 1 Break Sword, but we are waiting on another Break Sword at the moment. Then we have the Raiders Knight, the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, the Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon. Raiders Knight and Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon are just 2 amazing things. And then if you can't summon your Arc Rebellion, you go into your Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon because these 2 cards are just not fair. Finish off, we have the Levier, Sea Dragon, and Dante. Levier is an amazing card in the deck because you summon back your banished monsters. Dante is another great card just to get your cards into the graveyard. Now, saying that, I'm going to show you a 2-card combo. Yeah. Okay, so the current combo that we have here is technically a 1-card combo, but you do need another card to do this card. So we have the Torn Scale. It can be literally any other card, it does not matter, but it'd be better if you open, say, like Torn Scale and Boots or Torn Scale and Cloak. But it really does not matter, you just have to have Torn Scales and one other card. What you're going to do, normal summon your Torn Scales, you're going to ditch your Rank Up Magic launch. You will then send your Ancient Cloak to the grave. Ancient Cloak, you'll banish your Ancient Cloak, and then you'll search for a Boots. Since you control the Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon your Boots, and then you will use your Torn Scales and your Boots to go into your Cherubini. Cherubini's effect will activate, letting you send one Burning Abyss monster to the graveyard. You'll be sending your Graph, and then your Graph will let you special summon one Burning Abyss monster from your deck to your side of the field. You'll be summoning your Seer of the Burning Abyss, just so you can link both of these off into your Bardiche. And since you sent this card to the graveyard, you can special summon back your Cherubini. Bardiche effect will activate, and you can send one Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the graveyard and then immediately set one spell or trap to your side of the field. It really doesn't matter which Phantom Knights monster you send to the graveyard. I'm going to send a Cloak just for extending for next turn. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find your Phantom Knights of Fogblade and set it there. From now, you can banish your Silent Boots to add your Shane Brigadine to your hand. And here we go. Since you've banished a Phantom Knights monster while Torn Scales is in the graveyard, you can special summon your Torn Scales. You set your Shane Brigadine, and since you have no other trap cards in your graveyard, you can immediately activate Shane Brigadine to special summon itself. Now, you can do a couple of things here. If you really wanted to, you could just go straight into your Borosword Dragon, sorry. Just summon it and end your turn there with your Fogblades, face down Borosword Dragon and Bardiche. However, what I do like to do, what you could do instead of that is use these for Borosword Dragon and have the Cherubini instead, but that is just not a thing that you want to be doing. Well, no, sorry, you just these two. You could use that going to Borosword Dragon, then use these two to go into your Nightmare Unicorn, but that's really not a good thing to do. What you'd realistically want to do is probably just go use these two, use Nightmare Phoenix and Cherubini, Borosword Dragon, and then that should do it for that 2-card combo. Just from having a useless card in your hand and a Torn Scales, you now have a Borosword Dragon and Bardiche and a Fogblade. It's a very, very good combo, so you definitely want to be opening up your Torn Scales as much as possible. And it works even better when you have extenders like Kamigacha Knight and stuff like that on the field as well. It is just beautiful. Now we're going to go into some test hands and see what we can do. Okay, so we are here and we're going to be doing 2 go first test hands and 2 go second test hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we have managed to get here. So this is not the best hand. Actually no, this is fine. This is perfectly okay. The cards you want to really focus on right now is just your Raiden and your reinforcements of the army. What you first can do is activate your reinforcements of the army, search your Torn Scales. What you do is you'll normal summon your Torn Scales, you'll pitch your Raiden, and you'll send your cloak. Activate cloak's effect to banish itself. Since you already have a boots in your hand, you can search for another Phantom Knights card. Let's put the Stained Greaves in our hand because that will really help us for later. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to special summon our Silent Boots. Link off these two. Going to Cherubini. Cherubini's effect will then activate, letting us send our Graph. Then Graph effects will activate, letting us special summon from the deck our Seer. Then what we're going to do is use our Cherubini and our Seer to go into our Rusty Bardiche. Seer's effect will activate, letting us special summon back Cherubini. Bardiche effect will activate. We can send... let's send a Boots to the grave. Why not? Or if you really want to, you can send another Cloak, but we'll send a Cloak. Then we can set a Phantom Knights spell or trap from our deck. We'll send Phantom Knights Fogblade. Then what we're going to do from there is we're going to banish our Stained Greaves to add our Shade Brigandine to our hand. Since a Phantom Knights monster was banished while Torn Scales is in the graveyard, you can special summon your Torn Scales. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set our Shade Brigandine. Special summoning itself, then we can special summon our Stained Greaves. Stained Greaves and Shade Brigandine you can then turn into your Raiders Knight. Then use your overlay unit for this and summon out your Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Since Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon cannot be destroyed by effects, this will stay on the field instead of being destroyed during the end phase, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use our Phantom Knights of Torn Scales and we're going to use our Burning Abyss Cherubini and we're going to go into our Nightmare Unicorn. From there, we have managed to get out Nightmare Unicorn, Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon and Rusty Bardiche with a Imperm face down and a Fog Blade face down. That is a beautiful, beautiful turn, I must say. And that is just from going first. I'm going to now pull the cards back and we'll show you another go first test hand. Okay, so we are back and we are just going to keep shuffling for a few more moments and then we can get into our final go first hand and then we'll go go second hand. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we have... Yikes, that is not a hand that could be viable. However, we can special summon and we can normal summon, then we use... see, this is the problem, is that we have to use our normal summon because the bad thing about Kamagucha Knight is that you have to normal summon a level 3 to be able to special summon it. And we do need our normal summon in order to, we'll see what we can do anyway. We'll normal summon Kamagucha Knight, special summon these, link them off, Cherubini effect will activate, sending our Graph from the deck to the grave. Graph's effect will activate, letting us special summon our Seer from the deck. Seer and Cherubini into Bardiche. Bardiche effect after special summoning you. Bardiche effect, send Cloak. And we can set, oh sorry, I have Fogblade in my hand. We set the wings. Then what we can do from there, we can probably just activate Stained Greaves, adding ourselves, I would say add a Torn Scales, but realistically you can't use Torn Scales right now because you have no way of putting him in the grave. So what we're going to do now is we're going to special summon our Silent Boots using Boots and Cherubini to go into Nightmare Unicorn. Or if you really wanted to, you can keep your Cherubini on the field and just use your Silent Boots and your Shade Brigandine, sorry, your Bardiche and go into Boarsword Dragon, but it really depends on who you're facing. Then you can set a Fog Blade and you can set a Solemn Strike face down. What you have is Wings, Fog Blade, Solemn Strike, Boarsword, Cherubini on the field, and a Kaiju in hand. So it was not all a bad hand. We managed to get Boarsword, we have a Negate, we have a battle stop, we got a Summon Stop, and on the next turn we have a Kaiju, where this card really doesn't matter right now. So yeah, it was a pretty good, it was an alright hand. However, we're now going to go into the 2 go second hands. Okay, we are back. We're going to do a go second hand this time, which implies we draw 5 cards, and then we would discard all the hand traps in perms because we would probably have used them on our opponent, and then draw a card. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we have. This is not a bad hand whatsoever. This is quite a nice hand, and we will draw 1. Okay, so what we'd start off the turn doing is we'll activate our Upstart Goblin, hoping that that would get ashed or something like that, but if it doesn't, then that's great. You get to draw a free card, although it is unfortunate since you have just drawn 2 Effect Veilers. Opening Graph and another Burning Abyss monster in hand is also a very, very beautiful thing, because you're going to special summon your Graph because you control no spell or traps, and then you're going to special summon your Fire. And then if this is an amazing go second hand, I'm actually very, very happy with this, because when Thafir is sent to the graveyard, you can banish one of your opponent's monsters until the end of the turn. Then what we're going to do is use these 2, summon our Cherubini. Graph effect will activate first, so we'll do Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, Chain Link 3, so banish a monster, then summon our Seer, if I can find it. Then send Ancient Cloak. Then we'll use these 2 to go into Bardiche, special summon back our Cherubini. Use Bardiche's effect, send our Boots to set our Fog Blade. Now, without even using Torn Scales, we've managed to have a Bardiche and a Cherubini without even committing to our normal summon. What we're now going to do is normal summon Torn Scales, activating its effect to send our effect to the grave and pitch our Stained Greaves. Or if you want to, you can pitch your gloves, but it really does not matter. What we can now do is we can use our Cherubini and our Torn Scales to go into Nightmare Unicorn. Then from there, what we're going to do is we're going, where is here? Activate our Boots effect. Sorry, my bad. We're not going to send the Stained Greaves to the graveyard. We're going to send our Ragged Gloves, because what we're then going to do is we're going to activate our Ancient Cloak's effect by banishing Ancient Cloak to add Stained Greaves to our hand. Then we're going to use Boots' effect, and we're going to add, say, our Phantom Knight's Wings to our hand. Okay, so that means we can now special summon back our Torn Scales. Then what we're going to do is we're going to special summon our Stained Greaves, our Shade Brigandine, special summon our Shade Brigandine. Brigandine and Torn Scales will then go into Raider's Knight. You then detach that material to go into Ark Rebellion, Xyz Dragon. That did not want to come out. And then you just have Torn Scales, you have Nightmare Unicorn. Well, you can use your Bardiche and your Scales to then go into Borrelsword Dragon. So if you're going up against Cyber Dragon, that was a beautiful turn because now you have no monsters in the extra monster zone. You have your Fog Blade, you have Wings, Arc Rebellion, Borrelsword, and Nightmare Unicorn, who is now co-linked with an Effect Veiler in your hand. So that, I must say, was a beautiful, beautiful turn. That should do it for the deck profile and combos, and I will see you in the next one.